Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. This story could rock the Casbah. It's about saying goodbye to Mideast Oil. Our good friends over at FoxNews.com released a story. I rarely have good news to report, and so I really need to embrace those rare opportunities when they pop up. This could be just one. This from the Fox News Network.
Super. Did you know that the United States is now the world's top gas and oil producer? And according to the latest statistics from the U.S. Department of Energy and the International Energy Agency, we produce the equivalent of about 22 million barrels a day of oil, natural gas, and related fuels as of July of last year, while Russia produced just shy of that, about 21.8 million barrels a day. It's something that President Obama highlighted during his State of the Union speech, focusing on shifting our country from foreign oil to American sources.
I'll cut red tape to help states get those factories built and put folks to work. And this Congress can help by putting people to work building fueling stations that shift more cars and trucks from foreign oil to American natural gas.
So can we really tell the era of oil shakes? Bye. Bye-bye. Republican Congressman Tim Murphy on the House Energy Committee joins us from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Congressman, your state is heavily involved, for example, in fracking. That's one source. Do you see the day when we can actually be energy independent?
I really think we can. You look at what's happened with natural gas. We're in the midst of the Marcellus Shale here in Pittsburgh, a huge boom going on. And you look at basically what the cost has been to consumers of natural gas has come down in the last few years by half. That's a huge part. But really the all-of-the-above energy policy, which the president talks about, and we hope he really means, really needs to be involve a portfolio of oil, natural gas, clean coal, wind, solar, and other renewables. You have to put them all together. And if we're able to do that, we will be a country that can indeed tell OPEC we're tired of spending. We'll spend about $4 trillion overall, the cost of the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, protecting oil fields out there. We no longer have to be at the mercy of OPEC dangling threats in front of us, using their money to fund terrorism and other issues around the world. It will be a very, very important day to have American energy freedom.
We're looking at Keystone, a video of Keystone Pipeline, which has not been completely approved, obviously, and that's being discussed right now. You mentioned something very important, though, Congressman, about OPEC and about the result, the geopolitical result of us getting off mainlining this Mideast oil. What does it mean politically for our country and foreign affairs? The president is going to Saudi Arabia supposedly next month to meet with the rulers there. What will it mean when we're finally off Mideast oil?
Well, what it means is they no longer can threaten us. It also means we can help our friends and allies around the world who may also be subject to OPEC threats. The EU would love to have oil from the United States instead of being threatened by Gazprom in Russia and by OPEC. And it's very important that, Iran sells lots of oil to China, so be it. But imagine if we could do more of the same. Now, that's a lot of money coming to the United States. Our trade deficit with OPEC in the last 10 years tops $1 trillion. And when you look at what we have as well with our own oil off our coast, estimates are $2.5 to $3.7 trillion in today's money that is out there if we developed our own. That is a huge boom of America's purchasing power around the world as well. And that's where U.S. Really raises from where it is now to a much better place in geopolitical issues with the economy.
You're on the Energy Commission. I mean, how did this all happen? I mean, there's a string of gas stations in your state in Pennsylvania, Quick Fill, United Refining. I mean, it's unbelievable. They are proud they only sell crude from North American sources, from the U.S. or from Canada. They boast that. They put that in their advertising. They use no Mideast oil. How did we finally get to a place where this, in our lifetime, in the next few years, certainly, is possible?
Well, it really is the American consumer and American companies that have done that. I really can't think of policies that have come out of the White House. I mean, after all, they still have a moratorium on drilling in the Atlantic, the Gulf, the Pacific. And about 96% of what has happened here has really been in private lands, not through policies the White House has put forward. And also look at what's happening with what has been uncovered. We're exploring this. I sent a letter to request records from the EPA about them being in cahoots with the environmental groups to try and block the Keystone Pipeline, to block coal-fired power plants, which continues to put us in a precarious position. I want to make sure we're generating our own power, our own geothermal, our own chemicals, our own exports out of American industries, and that is what the American consumers like too. You know, one of the nice things about pulling up to a gas station that's North American oil, no soldier had to shed blood to protect those oil fields, and that's really important to Americans.
That is a fantastic testament to being energy independent. Congressman Tim Murphy of Pennsylvania, thank you, and thank you for your insight today on
Thank you. Have a great day, Eric. Enjoy the game.
You too. Absolutely.
That was an interesting interview. Who would have thought that would have come out of the mouth of Barack Obama? I found that rather telling. My producer, Sigmund Kramer, he says it's telling that Mr. Obama is under pressure. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, a few years ago, he was really trying to shut down coal. He had no love for natural gas. I mean, we've been talking about this for years, and now even the Keystone Pipeline looks like it's gotten good report card from the environmentalists, which means he's not going to have a whole lot of excuse to keep, putting up a wall to not let it go through. And if he can't see that energy independence is a huge deal to this country at this point, he's totally blind. Well, I think he's gotten enough pressure now that he's having to make changes to his policy stances. And natural gas is going to be a big way to move towards energy independence for us, which is a good thing.
Yeah. One thing they didn't talk much about in that interview was fracking. Did you notice that? Yeah. Well, that's obviously been a game changer.
Well, yeah. And but wasn't that what the Marcellus Shale is all about? The shale oil? And so that is, I mean, without having to use the term, that's the way they're getting to it. So, it's going to be a big deal with energy independence, moving away from this is a damning invective towards his foreign policy, though, because the Arab Spring that he supported really hasn't worked out too well, and it's caused even more concern for our interests, right? Because now you see what's moved into the power vacuum in the Middle East. Well, it's more important now than ever for us to gain energy independence from those in the Middle East that seek us harm.
Yep, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And something else that I think you'll agree with me about is that people need to attend this big event going on here this week, and I'm looking forward to it starting on Thursday. It's an expo that's taking place. It's called the Franchise South Expo, and actually this Franchise Expo South. You can find out more about it, though. Don't go to the webpage unless you want to pay for your tickets. Come as my guest. I want you to come for free. It's a gift that we're offering through usdailyreview.com. That's usdailyreview.com. Go there right now and learn how you can get your free tickets. Go to the business section. You can't miss it. There is a picture there in the business section, very top left-hand corner, with Franchise Expo South. I'm going to be covering it. Maybe I can interview you. Certainly hope I can meet you there at that event. Want to learn more about franchising, how it is revolutionizing business and continues to do so today? Learn more about it there at usdailyreview.com. When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here, it shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. While there, like it on Facebook. Follow it on Twitter.